Hey guys, so as usual, like, subscribe, and share the vibes. Today I'm talking about something that's a little bit basic. It's more like me in regards to myself, some pointers that might help others who may come across this. So, what I'm talking about is mastering my own lane, meaning I'm not looking to fit in to any category, into anything specific other than just being myself, whatever that means to me. I find that with any and everything, progression is much more achievable than perfection. So that's taken me many years to dissect and to just understand and to live by. So, yeah, with that being said, I have 5 things to mention that are not important and something that you might think is important where you are in life right now. So, first and foremost, what other people think of you or what they say about you doesn't matter. At the end of the day, remember that this says more about the person rather than you yourself. Okay. Another thing I want to mention is that, this took me a long time as well. I have been on Instagram for quite a few years now. I've had Snapchat since it came out, Facebook. Same thing. I was very young when I signed up for Facebook. My eldest sister actually did that for me. And, just like everything else, you get hooked and you get like obsessed with it. And that links to, pretty much how you view yourself. And then that always amplifies usually through what others think of you. It's never really what you think of yourself unless you're, in a healthy state, and like in recognition of your well-being. So how many likes and followers you have, that doesn't amount to anything legitimately in life. So as far as myself personally, this past winter I went through like a really big crash mentally, and that forced me to unfriend everybody, in my Facebook and my Instagram. So, like at this point, I only care about one person specifically following me, because at the end of the day, my social media is for me, myself, and I. And I just post what I like and like what I'm getting up to, and just like memories for my personal needs so that I can look back on these things. So with that being said, I really, like I said, personally only care about, one person, which everybody's different, but at the end of the day, it doesn't amount to anything, the likes or the followers. Yeah, so as mentioned at the start, fitting in should not matter at all. I know that people have like friend groups and like, different people that they hang out with or try to keep up with in a sense. This also goes back to social media. Just trying to fit into something that you don't necessarily need to be a part of at all. If your friendship group makes you feel like an outsider, you don't need to be there at all anyway. Like, what's the point of staying somewhere where you don't feel needed, So, another thing is, this was also something like growing up I had a really hard time with, was being obsessed with checking the scale. Like, the scale doesn't necessarily mean how much muscle mass you have. It doesn't actually really matter at all what the scale says. but by all means, it's okay to work on yourself, but don't become obsessed with the numbers. So like for a while there, I had a scale and I would check it like literally every day. I would use the washroom and then check it after. Um, and then I got to a total different state of mind where I just did not care how much I weighed, and I gained so much weight that my stomach bulged out to me looking like pregnant. So I'm trying to balance in between both those. Like I eat any and everything I want, but I also like to do that in moderation. I don't want to overdo it with anything, because that just defeats the purpose. Like it just overdoes it, you know? And that's what I'm trying to stay away from. So apart from that, you know, work is a really big part of people's lives. And I've always, like, I started working at a really young age. So I've also scaled my life on my job for as long as I can remember, up until this summer. So I know that some people like get bombarded with messages, emails, and calls after hours of work, like where they can't cut off the hours that they've worked. They just answer to all these messages and texts and calls. Um, your time is your time. So those after work messages can wait. Okay. And another big thing that I've had to work on myself is you don't have to work for your worth. Having a job isn't necessarily a needed thing. Like obviously you need money to live in this world, in this life, but you know, don't make it your worth. I used to just like base my wants and needs in a job just based on money. And then, you know, sometimes it was like my passion. It ended up being something that I loved, so it worked out in my favor. But other times it got me stuck in a rut in places that I just stayed just to get the money that I was getting. And unfortunately, my mental health felt that. Okay, so the most important things in life aren't centered around what other people think or say about you, nor is social media a dictating um, thing of your being. Okay, so there's no sense in fitting in, because being your humanly being and your authentic self reflects, you know, who you attract and things like that. So you don't necessarily need to fit in a box, or, you know, fit in a clique, or, you know, to get along with people who actually matter to you. Yeah, so and you know, the last thing I want to say is the topic on God. You know, it took me a very long time to switch over my life and to recognize that God really does matter in your life. And once you realize that, you know, you're able to live free flowing and at ease, and you don't feel so much pressured just to like live. So, you know, with that being said, never underestimate the power of God and His ability to get you through. Remember that when you were down at your lowest, the only direction you could go was up. Be proud and grateful of how far you have come. So sometimes, you know, we're looking like to where we need to get, and we're basing it on a scale or a timeline. When in reality, we need to look back and see how far we have come. That generally helps me, you know, live a life of ease and get motivated to, you know, get up the next day and to get at things. But like I said, I am in a chapter of doing any and everything for myself. I'm very self-serving, because at one point I was serving people and things that didn't really matter in my life. And it's never really a bad thing to be self-serving. You want to be able to take care of yourself in order to take care of other people. So, yeah, I kind of just wanted to make a little video of that in my manifesting era, and like I said, taking care of myself, self-serving era. The way I like to cater to these things is, like I said, taking care of myself. So getting up, getting dressed in certain things instead of work clothes if it's a different day apart from work. I like to do my makeup as a woman. It helps me feel motivated, and it helps me just feel like myself. I'm not saying that I have to wear it every day, but these are things that help me on days that I might not feel all the way myself. Yeah, I like to keep a journal and write out different things. Hardcover, I've labeled it Manifest. I keep my book Savor there, and honestly, like, I write out any and everything in my journal just to help me stay aligned, to help me reflect. It's nice to go back and see, like I said, how far I've actually gotten, rather than trying to see the future and live in the future. Living in the moment is the key. Doing what you need to in the time and moment is where it is at. There's no sense in worrying. Worrying is man-made and fear is man-made. So, you know, once you get out of your own head and your own way of being, it's nice to like live in your worth. And yeah, like I said, I just wanted to come on here and make a few pointers, not only for myself, but other people that might come across this. Yeah, as always, like, share, subscribe to the vibes. Ciao.